I said it yesterday. My buttons are popping off. It is so awesome. It is so awesome. We live in the greatest place in the history of civilization, and we get to celebrate our country's 250th anniversary here in Nebraska. And it goes on every time. This morning we were celebrating the ribbon cutting in Omaha of Children's Nebraska facility that's nothing like it in the country, of course. That's the way it is in Nebraska. And I met a lady that had moved from Arizona to help develop the innovative work that's taking place. And I said, how long you been in Nebraska? She said, a year. I said, what do you love the most about Nebraska? And of course she said, it's the people. It's the people in Nebraska. So we've got a lot to celebrate. So this year is an incredibly unique and exciting year. I'm old enough to remember the bicentennial of 76. Daryl, do you remember what you were doing in 76? Okay, so we're celebrating the semi-quincentennial. Can everybody spell that? Johnny, good to see you. Can you spell that, Johnny? I can't. So our 250th year anniversary, it's extraordinary how, in one breath, how embryonic we are, and yet in another breath, who we are as a people and a country. So this is going to be an extraordinary fun year of filled events and activities, and I'm really, really happy that we have so many people here. All of our commissioners that have said, from all across the states have said, hey, we're going to come together and put us on the map and do things that everybody in all the other 49 states will say, we wish we'd have done that. Before we begin, I want to just say gigantic thank you because the Semi-Quincentennial Commission, the sons and daughters of the American Revolution, you guys are incredible. And then obviously, Suzanne keeps putting up with me, and I'm grateful that she's here, and Lieutenant Governor Joe Kelly, really, really grateful for everybody that's here. This year represents once-in-a-generation opportunity to honor our nation's founding, reflect on its history, and look ahead to the next 250 years. I've learned about 7 generations from our Native American brothers and sisters, and the more that I see 7 generations and think 7 generations has an incredible impact how you see and how you think. So I think it's really important that we say a gigantic thank you to President Trump. His vision to think about things and build things is off the charts, and his commitment to the history and to celebrating who we are in America. And so Nebraska is proud to stand with the White House and the nation, honoring during the principles of freedom, courage, and the opportunity to truly define America and who we are. So we simply today want to make sure we invite every Nebraskan, families, schools, veterans, nonprofits, faith organizations, and businesses to take part this next year in this extraordinary historic celebration. And as I love to say, together we can. Together we can celebrate Nebraska's role in our nation's story. Our story is really extraordinary. Our story is second to none. It's really important that we stop being humble on our 250th birthday of this country and brag like heck who we are in Nebraska. So the Nebraska Semi-Quincentennials Commission has developed a logo, which I'm really, really excited to unveil. And let's see if I can unveil it without tipping it over. So we're going to go for it. Here we are. There we go. What do you say? So, I think you've heard enough from me. I'm really, really, Daryl, I'm grateful for our friendship. All you've done as a public servant, heading up, being the adjutant general, and now taking on the Historical Society and spearheading the 250th Commission. Really grateful.
Great.
Thank you, Daryl.
And I'll have to say that on my first day at the Nebraska State Historical Society, it was a little bit of discovery learning about this Semi-Quincentennial Commission, but it's a privilege.
You learned how to spell it.
I did. I can, yes. So, but it's a privilege to be a part of that. So, you know, Nebraska as a state, much less as a territory, really didn't exist in 1776 when our founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, but what did exist was this place and who we are, and that became Nebraska, that has a rich and innovative history, and rich in history and grit, I would say, that contributed in many ways to what America became and what it is today. And so I'm grateful also from all my fellow commissioners on the Semi-Quincentennial Commission. We're an active group who have embraced our role to create connections to bring all Nebraskans into a year of celebration. A celebration centered on that day in Philadelphia 250 years ago on July 4th, 1776, when men from many different walks of life agreed on a path forward for self-rule and independence from a remote and distant king and parliamentary. So, about the commission and the logo, you can see our URL, our website address. It's up. It's under construction, Governor, but we're making progress. And that website will become the hub where people can go to and connect about activities occurring across Nebraska and across the United States, in fact. And so it will connect to the America250.org website, which has a calendar there and a map, and you'll see it right from our website as well. And then also, if you're reaching out to us, you can reach us at America250@nebraska.gov. It's America250@nebraska.gov, and we'll answer your questions and look into things on your behalf to make sure we have a very successful year and be connected with each other. So there's going to be a whole host of events across the state. We know that. We don't have them all up on the calendar yet, but there's things like the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission is issued a 250 outdoor challenge, so 250 miles kayaking, biking, swimming, tubing, maybe, I don't know, tanking down the Niobrara. Could be all kinds of things. And then the Founders Exhibit, which you're going to hear a lot more about by our next speaker, here at the state capitol with pictures on the first floor that encourage you to explore. But none of this would be possible without the support and partnership of organizations like the Nebraska Arts Council, the Sons of the American Revolution, the Daughters of the American Revolution, and also Nebraska Humanities. Keep Nebraska Beautiful is even involved in America 250. And then, of course, our friends in Seward, Nebraska, who, of course, is Nebraska's 4th of July city, will have reenactors this year on the 4th of July weekend featuring the faces of Mount Rushmore. And a couple of the spouses are going to show up, too. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So there'll be many, many other events across communities in Nebraska and things that others will be doing, and we'll have them up on our website. So it's going to be an amazing year, as you said, Governor, celebrating America and reflecting on the courage of our founding fathers and those who fought for our independence. So, Governor, thank you very much.
Thank you, Darrell. We're really, really excited that we're going to have a ball with your leadership and bringing people together from across the state. Some of you have noticed the photos going on in the first floor of the Capitol, and this is a part of the display that's being promoted by the White House. Roxanne Smith's here to tell us about that. Roxanne, come on in. And I don't know how many of you have taken a tour recently of the Capitol, but this young lady, when you get her in the rotunda, I'm telling you what, every cell in her body comes out, and the rotunda is filled with your energy. There's nobody better. Roxanne, you're the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor Pillen. We are honored to house the White House-created Founders Museum. This innovative nationwide exhibit, sponsored here by the Nebraska Semi-Quincentennial Commission, showcases the lives and legacies of the patriots who created the United States of America. The Founders Museum includes photographs and information about the 56 signers of the Declaration of Independence. There you can see Thomas Jefferson as one of the 56. There are 6 influential ladies of the Revolution and 20 key moments in the battle for independence. Each individual image displays a QR code which takes viewers to a virtual museum with extended biographies of the founders, reenactors bringing the events of the revolution to life, and the founders speaking their thoughts directly to us. The exhibit is located on the walls in the outer square of the first floor of the Capitol and can be viewed during public building hours through the summer of 2026. When Nebraska became a state, the United States was not yet 100 years old. During our Capitol's construction, America celebrated its 150th birthday. On the Capitol's exterior, the designers placed, above the county names, relief panels illustrating the evolution of government and law in Western civilization. Beginning with the guidance of the Ten Commandments on the Northwest and concluding with Nebraska's statehood in 1867 on the Northeast. On the south facade, the Declaration of Independence holds a position of honor as one of the most important documents ever written in the history of the world. In celebration of the 250th anniversary of this momentous document, the Office of the Capitol Commission created a commemorative mug featuring the signing of the Declaration Relief Panel. You can see. To further commemorate America 250, the 2026 Capitol commemorative ornament is a reproduction of the Great Seal of the United States as it appears on the front facade of the Capitol. And I don't know how many of you have looked up and noticed that. Raise your hands. Oh, I don't see any hands. Look up and you can see this this is a lovely ornament. All our Capitol ornaments are beautiful, but I think this is going to be a very, very popular one indeed. These items will be available in the Nebraska State Historical Society Capitol gift shop. For more information about the Capitol, please go to capitol.nebraska.gov. Whoops. Thank you very much.
We also have Bree Witten here as another member of the 250th Committee to talk about another national initiative that students can take part on called America's Field Trip. Bree? Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today to announce the second and final round of America's Field Trip. This nationwide contest invites students in grades 3 to 12 to participate in our nation's upcoming 250th anniversary by sharing their perspectives on what America means to them through an essay or original artwork. Selected students will earn an unforgettable field trip experience to some of our country's most iconic historic and cultural landmarks. Submissions are now open and entries are due March 30th, so hurry up and apply. We encourage educators, families, and students across our state to take advantage of this opportunity and ensure our students' voices are part of this historic milestone. Back to you, Governor.
Thank you, Bree. Finally, we get to wrap up with announcements from Bill Williams. Everybody knows about Bill and Yvonne and what they've done for years and years, their love of our country, their love of our veterans. Suzanne and I participated in quietly helping behind the scene for years, and I'm telling you what, veterans that took flights on behalf of what Bill and Yvonne put together, it's things that they'll never, ever forget and are incredibly grateful. So obviously in Nebraska, we're #1 in cattle production. Move over Texas, we're obviously #1 in ethanol production. Move over Iowa. We believe in competing to be #1. We want to be #1. We want to be the best, and we want to be the biggest. And Bill's going to tell us about what we're going to have that's going to be the biggest, and it's going to be awesome. Thank you, Bill, for all you do.
Thanks, Gov, for your kind words. My name is Bill Williams, and my wife Yvonne and I have a little mom and pop nonprofit in Omaha we call Patriotic Productions. Honor flights, remembering our fallen, patriotic parade. We have booked, I'm proud to announce, the largest American flag for Omaha and Lincoln Memorial Day weekend. The flag is 250 feet by 505 feet. That's 126,000 square feet. It weighs 3,000 pounds, and it takes a minimum of 650 people to hold it. So it is going to be quite the event. At Omaha, it'll be Friday night, May 22nd at Memorial Park at dusk. First, we'll have a drone show from Fantasy Drones out of Norfolk. 200 plus red, white, and blue lights. So that's going to be great. And then after that, we'll unfurl the flag. Our special guest, now Governor will be there to do the countdown, but our musical guest is a man by the name of Ronan Tynan from Boston, Massachusetts. He was a member of the Irish Tenors, and he is known for singing at Yankee Stadium, God Bless America, after 9/11. Also at the funerals for Presidents Reagan and George Herbert Walker Bush. So he will do Mansions of the Lord and God Bless America. It's going to be fantastic. On a side note, he is willing, I haven't lined up the Catholic churches yet, but he is willing to sing at a Mass or two in Lincoln and a Mass or two in Omaha Saturday and Sunday morning before he goes back to Boston. He will do Ave Maria, which if you watch it on YouTube, you have to sit down because your legs will be weak, and Amazing Grace. Well, he is amazing, so we're very excited to have Ronan. Now, 2 nights later in Lincoln at the Sandhills Global Event Center grounds, we'll do the same thing again. Won't be Ronan, but it will be other musical talent that we've lined up, and we'll do the drone show and we'll do the flag. And we encourage people who want to participate, help with the flag. You can go on our website, patrioticproductions.org, and you can sign up. But we're going to need at least 1,000 in both places, Omaha and Lincoln. I'd just like to note my 2 best Lincoln volunteers are here, Dr. Mike McCoy and Liz Shea McCoy. People are aware of their work saving the Pershing mural. So thanks, everybody.
I don't know how this couple does it, how you come up with it all, but all I got to say is try to top that, Texas. What do you say? Try to top that. It's really extraordinary what people come together. And that's what the other part that's so important about our 250th, that we take time, quit worrying about what color vest you wear. Let's come together as a people because we are who we are, because of the extraordinary people of our great state and our country, that we have unity. I think that the other thing I want to make sure that I say is that what a privilege it is to be able to be the governor of Nebraska, and then in this incredible historic time, I'm incredibly grateful to Joe. Joe and I have been good buddies our whole life, and couldn't do this job without you, Joe, so I'm incredibly grateful. So I think that the other thing that I get to do as governor is do proclamations. So proclamations are really fun. It's probably a little more fun to give admiralships, because then we'll call you an admiral someday, Bill. You maybe already have one, but let me just read part of this. Whereas the state of Nebraska has established a semi-quincentennial commission dedicated to reviewing, approving, helping coordinate statewide activities, while also working with the United States Semi-Quincentennial Commission, America 250, and the Salute to America 250 Task Force. And whereas this year presents a unique opportunity, one not collectively experienced as a nation since the 76th bicentennial, to reflect on her people, events, and sacrifices led to the founding of the great United States of America, and while also looking ahead to the future. So we seek to create for generations to come. Now therefore it be I, Jim Pillen, Governor of the extraordinary state of Nebraska, do hereby proclaim, call on all Nebraska citizens call on all Nebraska citizens to take part in many commemorative activities, celebrations occurring throughout this historic year. And I hereby proclaim the year of 2026 as America's 250th anniversary in Nebraska, and I do hereby urge all citizens to take due notice. Thank you all for being here. God bless. All right, Mom, you can take the proclamation, please. All right. Okay, I think we have. Thank you for Presby for being here. Any questions? We'd be happy to entertain. Yes, sir.
I have a question, one with the family. Do you have, I guess, what do you say to people that might have concerns about PagerDuty handling this museum for the White House?
Say it one more time. I didn't hear.
What do you say to people that might have concerns over PagerDuty handling this museum that is commissioned by the White House?
I think if anybody has a problem, I just say, hey, we're the United States of America. We are Americans. Everybody has the opportunity to celebrate America as you see fit. Let's celebrate America together and focus on unity. And let's not get distracted by that 0.1% on the far sides. It's crazy. John?
How do you think we can find unity in history? This, of course, this year, we're a very polarized nation. You can see it in polls, you can see it in all kinds of things. How does looking at this 250th anniversary, this history, this collective history, bring us together?
Yeah, well, I think that the question is, how do we celebrate this America's polarized? I will tell you from my lens, I'm around this great state more than anybody else. I'm everywhere. I don't see it. The polarized people that are trying to make this, I call them faceless keyboard warriors that are trying to distract all the great America people and get us going down different places. That's not who we are. And that's not who we are not only in Nebraska, but in America. So, yeah, the 250th celebration, I tell you what I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to celebrate who we all are. And Nebraska is an incredible place. We have, just 2 blocks away in a school, we have kids that speak 17 different languages. We are Nebraska because we are one of the most welcoming states, and we have people literally from all over the world. We had Japanese immigrants that immigrated here 120 years ago to help build our railroad, and we have 7 generations of Japanese immigrants that have been in vegetable farming, and you name it. So we're an incredible place, and that's what we're going to celebrate in Lincoln and Nebraska. In Omaha, as I love to say, that we're going to celebrate it from the river all the way out to Harrison, from Falls City all the way up to Chadron, from South Sioux City all the way to Binkelman. That's who we are as Nebraskans. We're going to focus on who we are, and we're, Nebraska, hey, we're about faith, family, hard work, the American dream. That's who we've been since our founding, and that's what will continue to work for the next 7 generations. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to ask about what role the White House could have had in planning or coordinating with you guys with the specific exhibits or programs.
Well, I think that the bottom line is there's been communication across the country to all administrations, and everybody has the privilege to pick and decide on things that you like. Obviously, we're Nebraska, but obviously there's we're not 250 years of age, so there's things that most all of us Nebraskans are really, really proud of with our heritage, and those are going to be things we're going to celebrate. And so, we've picked and chosen on the things that really make sense for Nebraska. John?
As you guys all noted, Nebraska is a little younger than some of the East Coast states. We're not quite in this 250-year realm. What do you think, and this is to anybody who wants to answer, the uniqueness of Nebraska history? What about Nebraska's story do you want to highlight in this year where we're all taking a look at our foundings, at our roots?
I'll give one, and then I'll invite Darrell and anybody from the commission that has something on your heart you'd like to share. I will tell you from my seat that is, I think about my family. I think about my grandpa when I see the mural, who was a World War I veteran. I think about my grandfather, who lost one of his sons in World War II. And then I think about, just in the last month, had a mountaintop experience where we did a solidarity and a trade mission to Israel. And, what was incredible about that moment that I think is really important that we celebrate in Nebraska, again, it's the people. We met a lady, her last name was Strauss, in Western Galilee. And she said, well, Jim, I think she was probably in her late 80s. She said, my story's simple. My father was a German Jew. In 1935, my family did well. They left everything and they came to Israel. And she showed me pictures, 1935 pictures in Israel. You know what they look like? Exactly the pictures that my grandparents in Platte Center had in 1935. Exactly the same, because Grandma, it was so dry, we had no water. We were the dry plains, and they looked exactly like it was Israel, because Grandma had to put sheets up to try to keep the dust from blowing through. We were the high desert plains. And then what we've done by grit, determination, never giving up, since in the last almost 100 years, with irrigation, we have the largest, most sustainable underground aquifer in the Western Hemisphere here in Nebraska. Every state, again, envies us because of that. And what's that mean? Well, it's created extraordinary people. Extraordinary people, because nothing's been handed to any of us in Nebraska. We've had to work and innovate and figure out how can we create an extraordinary life for generations to come. And that's the exact same thing that we witnessed in Israel that's taken place since 1935. And so I think that's an incredibly important piece of our history. When you go to Seward, Nebraska, I think that there's extraordinary things for us to be able to celebrate with the history, with our militia, the highest calling in governments keep us safe. I think that's a key piece. Darrell, please add to it.
I think I reflect on our history of innovation in the state and what we've contributed to making America as great as it is. And if you think about center pivot irrigation, you mentioned our Ogallala Aquifer and what a resource that is, but also things like the round baler were invented here and other elements of agriculture that have made a difference not only here in Nebraska, not only in the United States, but across the globe. So I think that's really part of what we're going to try to celebrate and reflect on this whole year is how have we contributed to America.
We can't forget about the Reuben sandwich, too.
Well, the Reuben.
Just a small thing, just a small thing.
It's really good. And I think we have to celebrate some of our extraordinary leaders. I bragged about us being #1 in ethanol. Everybody knows where ethanol started, hatched from, right? God bless Dwayne Smith's heart. We just buried Dwayne in the last 6-7 months from I can't remember the district number now, but Dwayne was a legislator here in the unicameral, started the idea that you could make fuel from corn in the 60s. Trivia, anybody know what it was called then? Of course, it was gasohol. Gasohol. So just think of the people and the tenacious policy never giving up. I think if there's one force that we for sure got to celebrate at every turn, Nebraska, it's the people. It's the people. And they keep getting better and better with age. Anybody else like to share anything? Go ahead.
My name's Jeff Barnes, but I think historically from the 10,000-foot view, I think of Nebraska as the great connector. I mean, we had tens of thousands of people passing through Nebraska on the trails, on the trains, on the highways, on the interstate. I mean, they all came through Nebraska to get to where they're going, and I guess once they got there, then the great people started to fill in this great state, and it just really, I think, a transformative effect. We're kind of the tie that binds here in Nebraska that brought those two coasts together and made it the greatest nation on the face of the planet. So, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to recognize the governor. One of the things he focused on is the people of Nebraska. And when you think about, although not 250 years, but when you think about we produce some of the greatest athletes on planet Earth that started here in Nebraska. And one of them is in our midst, Johnny the Jet Rogers. You're talking about in the history of college football, it's not, it's something that has been voted that he is one of the greatest athletes of all times in terms of college football, 150 years. When you think about Bob Gibson, the list goes on and on and on out of Nebraska. So yes, we have plenty to celebrate. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. That's awesome. I can't help myself, but of course we've just had the world's best boxer. That's right. Right? Terrence Bud Crawford retire. And I'm sorry, Johnny, I have called him the greatest Nebraska athlete, pound for pound, in history. But by God, you couldn't take him on yet, I bet. Johnny, go ahead.
They voted us to have the greatest college football team of all time. And our team in 71
Yeah.
has been voted by everybody as the greatest team. Good old Nebraska.
Yeah, little old Nebraska. And if we got to get that Lyle Bremser cut. And Johnny the Jet laid him in the aisle, man, woman, and child. Anyone else? Joe, you got it? Chris? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm Chris Vale, and I'm representing Keep Nebraska Beautiful on this commission. And I will tell you, I was at a meeting last night and I spoke to about 70 people in Hastings and Adams County GOP meeting. And the one thing I said to them is travel across this country and you will see the beauty of Nebraska. It's clean, the highways are clean, the communities are clean. And why is that? Because we take pride in who we are in this state. I'm a convert. I moved here from Ohio originally, go Buckeyes, but I'm now a Nebraskan, and I had the privilege this year to attend the governor's tailgates and sit with Pete Ricketts in his box. So I'm kind of a convert. I bought my first shirt for Nebraska football, but I will tell you, the people of Nebraska have a real sincere pride of who we are, and I call this my lifestyle choice. It's with people I like to be around. It's with people that are dedicated and care. And we live in really one of the most beautiful states in the country. Thank you.
Yeah, well said, Chris. If I can add to that, the other piece, again, these are so many things that we need to brag about. A year and a half ago, we did a ribbon cutting in Burwell, Nebraska. And the mayor was there, and I said, we live in an incredible place, the people, and it's so safe. I said, I don't lock my pickup. And the mayor said, of course we don't. Somebody might need it. Might be a good slogan for Nebraska. What do you think? Anyone else? We had met recently with an organization called Quick Trip. I think they have like 30 convenience stores in Nebraska, and they're all over the United States. And of course, again, this is 10 out of 10. Anybody that has a business in Nebraska and other places, whether in the United States or in the world, guess where their best business is? 100%, 10 out of 10, Nebraska Quick Trip. How's your business? It's fantastic. What's the best part of doing business in Nebraska? What do you think they said? People, and it's the safest. Yeah. It's the safest. We don't have to worry about our people working all night long. We don't have to worry about them being murdered. We don't have to worry about them because Nebraska is the best people and the safest place. It's extraordinary. And we're too humble. We have to really, really understand the gift of appreciation. We've taken we've taken each other for granted. We're not normal Joes and Susies. It's important we celebrate that. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to bring it back to the exhibit a little bit. Was there a review process or anything like that about the information that's being put up in the Capitol by the commission?
Sure. The America250.org Commission, so the National Commission in conjunction with the White House Task Force on America 250, offered this to the states and the commissions to review. We looked at it, and we thought that the opportunity for all citizens, but in particularly young people to learn about the signers and the events, as Roxanne highlighted to us, was worthy. And I think, I think the other thing we thought about too was everything has a perspective. You don't have to share in it, but you can learn from it.
Thank you, Daryl. Yes, sir?
Actually, a question for the Historical Society. Do you feel like these displays are all historically accurate?
Well, I haven't looked at all of them, but I think all those folks that are on the wall did sign the Declaration of Independence.
I'm going to just say it the way it is. Our history is our history, and we're going to celebrate it. For the people that want to change definitions to word, we're not doing that in Nebraska. It's pure and simple. We are not changing definitions. Agriculture is agriculture. It's not fake meat. We're not changing definitions. We're not changing history. We're going to celebrate it. Okay. Well, thank you all very, very much for being here today. Thanks for all your work. It's awesome. Good stuff.